Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wanna-Bes podcast. I'm Morgan, that's Luke, and there's Dreaded. Oh, man, thank you for joining us, everybody. First things first, we're going to be diving into our review of Twisters that came out early last month. I believe it was July 9th.
We're a little late.
Yeah, July 8th, my apologies.
What are you going to do?
Or no, July 19th, my goodness. My
Okay,
goodness. July 8th was like the early screening showing, like for Hollywood. July 19th was when it released, like for all of us. But anyway.
Yeah, either way, we got to it a little late, but you know, other things came up. There was a Deadpool movie that demanded our attention. It is what it is.
Also, to be honest with you, this movie's still very busy. Like, I was in a packed movie theater last night. I tried to go see it. I was trying to go see it a week before, and all of the theaters were sold out, or almost sold out, except for the very front row. And I hate very front row seating, and I refuse to sit in the front row.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I can only speak for our area. It's been kind of poopy out the past couple weeks. There's been a lot of rain. Really hasn't been all that much to do, or it's been just annoyingly hot. So, like, I can see it.
It also. The first one, the 1996 Twister, does have a cult following.
Yeah, it does.
I'm a part of it. Gonna be honest. But
it's one of those movies that, like, back in the day, if it was on TV, you always watched it.
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
sounds accurate.
Every time.
You're so part of that cult following. I learned something new about Morgan last night about what she almost could have done for her living.
I was very interested in storm chasing after seeing the Twister movie, for sure.
I got interested in it after watching this, but like,
I mean, honestly, it was like re-heightened again. I was like, I kind of want to do it again. I love it so much.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Was like, oh yeah, I actually did give this a thought about doing for a hot second, and this movie is the reason why.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, funny enough, I never thought about doing it, but I kind of saw the intrigue in it because I was actually very fascinated with the actual knowledge and science behind everything too. But then I watched the movie, was like, oh yeah, this is why I don't do this.
See, I watched the movie and I'm like, I love the science, everything else, and then I'm an adrenaline junkie. A lot of people know that about me, but I'm the daring one who'll go stand on the very, very edge of the Grand Canyon with her feet dangling off because I don't care. If I die, I die. Like that's what, the powers above have chosen for me. So
first of all, fuck God, you not dying on me, mama. If you die on me, I will go to your grave and I will beat the hell out of the gravestone until you wake up.
Yeah, I will not race him on my own.
If you don't wake up, I'm taking Dan.
I mean, I think y'all are gonna have to fight over my man.
We already were until he decided, I'm going to propose. You guys remember what I sent you when we figured out the proposal?
I told y'all, you get them on Mondays.
No, do you guys actually remember what I put in the chat when I figured that out? I just took a clip from freaking Venom.
Yes, yeah. That was good. Good.
We have been, all right, get to the news.
Yeah.
We don't have news.
We have no news today because
I had you little snippy bits.
Well, they weren't really okay. The two things is Monarch Legacy of Monsters begins filming. That's pretty much it. But you haven't even finished it, and I don't even think Morgan started it.
I know.
Actually watched it.
I know enough to know that I really miss Duho, and that's all I give a fuck about.
Okay. The other thing was that
clearly that Duho touched me a lot more than he did him. Like, it's just throwaway character to him. To me, Duho was the man. Fucking, you're killing me here, bro. Come on.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to say, who's Duho again?
He was the pilot that gets frozen and
Right. Moving on. I guess the other news I have is that the It prequel series, Welcome to Derry, just wrapped filming, actually.
Saw the little snippet teaser thingy, like I told you guys. There's nothing really worth seeing in it. It's just like spooky imagery for like half a second for about 6 clips. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
that's all. Pennywise.
Until we get trailers where I can see my father return.
But like,
I don't really care.
But like, what's the point of hiding him? Because I've already gotten 2 movies. I know what he looks like.
Actually, that's a good question, I suppose.
You would think he'd be front and center for the marketing, because like that's to me, it's really the only reason why I'm going to watch this show. I want to see what kind of fucked up shit Pennywise does.
Literally 22 minutes ago, guys, if you don't mind me interrupting, keeping it with the kind of spooky train, Regal Cinemas has revealed a Beetlejuice to Sandworm popcorn bucket.
Oh Lord.
Sweet.
Here, I can try to show it. It's pretty cool looking. I like it.
Oh wait, I also just saw that somewhere. I just didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I still got to get my Wolverine from you.
You do.
You also got you got to look at some other stuff too.
You also still have gifts from us from Japan.
I need to get the Alien one when that comes out too. When does that drop? Is that next week?
That's the end of the month. Alien Romulus.
You still don't have your gifts?
I don't get how much.
You motherfucker. Okay.
Sorry, I correct myself. August 16th.
Next week.
Yeah.
Sweet. In my defense, I did get into a pretty nasty car wreck about a month ago, and I've been dealing with the fallout from that. It's been fucking terrible, but I'm finally street legal once again. Have a new vehicle, so we're good. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
Life update.
All right then.
Well,
yeah. I'm sorry. We were actually having a nice flow for reviewing the film, and I fucked it up because I thought you actually had like some news. So I apologize. Go ahead and get back into it. Go ahead.
You should be sorry. No, I'm kidding. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into.
You got box office?
Yeah, let's dive into some box office.
I mean, it's been a month. This should pretty much be final.
Yeah, it should be finalized for sure. But, so, everybody, just so you know, this movie does run 2 hours and 2 minutes long. The budget for this was $155 million, which, to be honest, makes sense with having to do all the Storm CG work.
That's probably where it all went to.
Mm-hmm. And then, if we get into our box office, though, in the United States and Canada, Twisters was initially projected to gross $40 to $55 million from 4,151 theaters in its opening weekend.
Did it crush it?
So after it made $32.1 million on its first days, including an estimated $10.7 million from Wednesday night and Thursday previews, projections were raised to $75 million. It went on to debut for $81.3 million, the best ever opening box office weekend for a natural disaster movie, surpassing The Day After Tomorrow from 2004. If I could speak dates, that'd be great.
That movie kind of
Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I liked Day After Tomorrow.
I like Day After Tomorrow.
I like 2012 better, actually.
What? Never actually seen 2012.
But anyway, of that opening, 2.1 million came from the 4DX screenings, a record for that format. The film made 35 million on its second weekend and 22.8 million in its third, both times behind the newcomer Deadpool and Wolverine. No surprise. But as of yesterday, August 6th, Twisters has grossed $202.2 million in the United States and Canada and $79.1 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $281.3 million.
I'm wondering if it'll hit 300.
Honestly,
it'll finish at around 300.
Honestly, though, it really might. It has been insane how packed these movie theaters have been. I'm someone who goes pretty commonly almost every Tuesday, especially to see something for our show. You know, Tuesday's the cheap dollar ticket night at the theater I personally go to. So it's been crazy how packed it's been. Even prior to Deadpool and Wolverine, but even more so since Deadpool and Wolverine came out. This specific film, Twisters, has been packed constantly.
Yeah, the theater that I went to last night was pretty fucking packed. I'm sure most of it was, in fact, for Deadpool, but the theater that I was in also had pretty much all the seats taken out for the showing. I mean, I had a good time with it. I did have a good time with the movie. I'm kind of surprised because, like, I figured Top Gun Maverick was going to be a hit. I didn't expect it to be that big of a hit. And I feel like this is following in kind of the same vein, but like smaller scale, which makes sense because Twister is kind of an obscure movie. Like we were talking off before the show started about how it's got like that cult status.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, that might have actually been how we started. I'm sorry. Anyway, but that makes sense, and it makes sense that people are turning out to see it. It's a fun movie. I mean, you got Deadpool and Wolverine. You can put that wherever you want, on fun to good to whatever the fuck. But this is just to me, just like a fun movie. Like everybody can go see this movie. Not everybody can go see Deadpool. I think that's helping it as well.
No, I have the exact same opinion, actually. I was thinking, like, why did I get, with how packed this has been ever since it came out, like, why do I get Top Gun Maverick vibes from what's going on here?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I can see that.
It's that nostalgia.
Perhaps so. I don't have that much history with Twisters, but I also enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed this. I'm not saying that I had low expectations for it or nothing like that, but I did like it more than I thought I would, actually.
Yeah, I appreciated the fact that this kind of felt like a 90s movie, if that anybody understands what I'm saying. Like, it was
for sure.
Really basic plot, not the most fleshed out characters, not even necessarily the best acting in certain places, but like, it doesn't matter. It killed it with the spectacle. The characters are likable enough, like what they're doing. I don't know enough about meteorology and storm chasing to dispute the science or the lingo, but I mean, it sounds fancy enough and sounds right to me. So like, I'm buying that they know what they're doing. I do like that there's, I want to say, like, so in the first one, it's pretty much like the scientists are the dorks, right? They're kind of the outcasts. That's how the original crew is, the more the scientist ones. And then you got the people that are doing it for the money, that are like the bad guys. It's kind of flipped on this one. It's kind of flipped. The scientists are not looked at or are looked at as the bad guys, so the money makers, like the influencers, are the stars of the show. It was cool to see that little flip on its head. But I'm trying to think how to word this. Everybody does their job well enough for me to have a good enough time with this movie because I know exactly what it is. Like, the tornadoes look really good.
They look so good. The CG work in this looks great.
It was very, very well done. I dug the minor throwbacks that go back to the first one. Like I said, that 90s vibe that I got from it, it works so well for this movie. This movie knows what it is, right? So I got to give them kudos for knowing exactly what they were making, understanding what the mission was, and getting it done. I forgot that this was a Spielberg thing, so you kind of get that little whimsy in there too, which is always nice. But yeah, I had a good time. There are points in this movie, I don't know how you guys felt, now that you said it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. I thought it was longer. There's a couple points in this movie where I was legit like, I think I'm going to check out my phone to see how long I've been sitting here. You can guess which moments those are, but when things ramp up, like, they're cool. There's a lot of tornado action in this movie.
Mm-hmm. So, the biggest thing
I hated the ending too.
Yeah, he's going to go to jail.
Leave that man alone. He's from Arkansas. He don't care.
At least he can post bail. He says the successful YouTube channel. But anyway, no, I love the CG work. The storms look really great, and on top of that, the sound design, like everything about it, the color grading, the CG, the sound design, even the practical effects of the wind that they're using to hit the actors with their hair. It really made all of the storm moments and the chasing moments really intense in a good way. It definitely gave me the adrenaline boost that I felt like it should have been giving me. There are some areas where the writing is a little lacking, especially when we have Taylor's character showing up at her mother's home. I think there could have been even that he had spoken with like Javi. Like, maybe he was able to get some information from her friend Javi. Not that I also think it would have been in character for Javi to give that information, but I think just, he connected the dots and figured out who you were. I don't know, like, that could have happened. I just think it was a little meh. That was the part that probably bothered me the most. I wished this film was I know this is probably, Luke will probably disagree, but I wish this movie was a little longer. And only for one specific reason. I wanted the characters to be a little bit more fleshed out, especially Tyler. I think Tyler should have been more fleshed out than what we got from him. But that's the writer's fault. That's the director's fault. Like, I don't really necessarily blame Glen Powell for that. I think that is for what was written.
I mean, everybody embraces the archetypes that they're playing in this movie. So, I mean, Glen Powell, there's enough in the movie to separate him from just being, like, I don't know, prototypical, like, I don't want to say idiot, but, like, you know what I mean?
No,
that's how his character comes off. He's a showboat. He's full of himself.
Like, we learned that he used to be he used to do the rodeos. We learned that he is into meteorology and that he, is really intelligent and everything else. But I just wish we got a little bit more about him, if that makes sense. Like, give me a reason to care for this guy to get Kate in general. Especially because there is like that budding romance as like a side story.
Yeah, I'm actually really upset that there's any kind of love triangle or any kind of love story going on here at all. Like, they all could have just been friends and they chased some tornadoes.
Yes.
I don't need the stupid melodrama. Those are actually the points where I was like, Jesus, like, let's go. Get back to the fucking tornado. No, those are the parts where I'm like, stop.
I'll be honest, right now. I don't hate Kate and Tyler's like slowly budding romance.
No,
because at heart I'm a romantic. However, I hated the weird romantic tension we were getting from Javi.
No, they're all friends.
Go away.
Even Javi was like, Javi doesn't like her. Javi does not like her.
They're all cool enough and like know enough about their stuff, and I think in this movie interesting enough to where I don't need the stupid love story. I did not need it at all. Like, Kate wants to be the fucking scientist one, Taylor wants to be the fucking famous one, and Javi kind of wants to be the innovative one. It seems like, or maybe I got the two flipped. But either way, to me, there's enough going on in there where we could have gotten to the same outcome without the stupid melodrama, because those, in my opinion, are the worst acted parts.
No, and I don't disagree.
Plus, it comes out of nowhere considering how the movie opens.
Sure. I think for me, why I did like this kind of that budding romance is only because it was an avenue for Kate, for her character to move on from the death of her previous boyfriend.
Yeah. Also, at one point, you might be with me on this, Anthony. Like, considering at the beginning of the movie, the dude that she's with, and then immediately like starts to go for this other dude, I was like, they're not even the same dude. Like, they have nothing in common. It's like they don't. Their whole personalities are just completely different. It's like I remember thinking, if they would have bumped into each other, if dude from the beginning of the movie is still alive, and they all just happen to bump into each other later on, like, that might be a more interesting love story, because Kate might risk it all.
Didn't I dislike her? No romance. First of all, I would like to say that I sense nothing between Javi and Kate at all. They've been like, nope, we are friends. We've been through some shit, but we are good. It ain't like that. I did not get that. When it comes to Tyler, I'm going to say, I've been letting y'all talk. Okay, fine, just talk.
No, literally the only thing I want to say is Javi says in a line closer to the end, to Kate, there was a point in which I would have done anything for you, and that was 100% romantically charged.
Well, they give me the look at the beginning,
I'm not saying like it is right now. I'm not saying at that moment he's in love with her. I'm saying that there is romantic tension with Javi only because he used to be in love with her.
It's in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, that look.
Yeah. So,
but I do agree with you, Anthony. He's not like in love with her.
Saying, dude, because I feel like we're on the same page here. So please, the floor is yours.
Okay. However, well, at least no one gets. Yes, exactly. I was happy. Like, no,
I do agree with that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank God. I like, no, keep this platonic work friendships going on here of three nerds who want to make the world better, right? Thank God they didn't kiss. Although clearly Tyler might like a little bit of what he sees, but I mean, he's got that attitude from someone from Arkansas, so I guess I'm not that surprised. Going back to finding her house, you guys have probably that. I just found that funny. I found that hilarious, honestly. Like, the fuck? What are you doing?
Stalker, man.
I just thought the writing there could have been better. There could have been a better way how he found out where she was. Like, sure, she opened up and said where she was from. Like, and he knew her first name, so he could kind of do a little bit of digging and kind of connect the dots, especially if there's any photos in the newspapers or articles. But I don't know. I thought it was a little there could have been a little bit better writing in that specific.
I expected it to play out where he just followed her, you know?
Same. Same.
All distraught and shit. I was like, oh, well, he's just gonna follow her wherever she goes. I was like, are you okay? But that's not what happened.
I would have liked that better than
check on her.
What we got.
I mean, they did both just survive a tornado in an empty pool, so I'm just like, I don't blame him for going to check on her and stuff, like, just make sure she was cool after she left like that.
Yeah,
like,
and you know what?
We just survived this shit. You good?
Like, for real though, and that was actually kind of cool to see them do that. That was a cool scene, except for that dude that wouldn't listen and got himself blown away because he was a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, that's you see, I don't feel bad for certain people getting killed. I'm like, you don't want to listen, have fun flying.
That's that just dumb 90s shit right there. It's like the one that's like, what is it? 9 out of 10 times it's a false alarm. Like, you're so stupid. I hope you die. Okay, cool. See ya.
Yep, like no sympathy, don't care. You guys save the good people who want to listen to the experts.
Yeah, you literally didn't learn your lesson when you got proven wrong. It's right outside your doorstep, and then you get told to do something and immediately do the opposite. All right, whatever. Cool. Bye.
Well, also going off of what Morgan said about wanting to know a bit more about Tyler, actually. Funny enough, I feel like I got to know everything I kind of needed to because, hang on, I got to word myself correctly here because, well, first of all, like, he's a showboat. He's a little full of himself. He's also kind of funny. Not like hilarious, nothing like that, but still. And, you know, he's in it for the thrill, the views and everything like that. But at the end of the day, he does actually have good meaning behind them, particularly when you figure out, you know, the t-shirts that they sell for their YouTube channel, actually. Like, the funds go to helping tornado survivors, actually. So I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I actually really like that as well. But I found something very interesting about when he just talks about why he's so into it, where he was with his aunt, he saw a tornado literally touch down in front of him, and you know, the usual reaction is fear and dread and everything like that. No offense to myself. But, you know, he just found himself amused and kind of fascinated by it. And truth be told is, I can't exactly explain why I like that so much, but I somewhat get it. Because you're kind of talking to someone who everyone probably sees a rainstorm coming, right? Like dark ass clouds, lightning, maybe some strong winds and heavy rains come down. And you're thinking, get in the house or God damn, it's going to be a horrible day. And I look at it like, this is a beautiful day right here. I love this weather. Although I am terrified of tornadoes. I want to make that clear. I used to be terrified of tornadoes and not anymore, but I still don't like them. So I guess I just somewhat related to that feeling of something that most people would probably not like or have the same feeling, but you look at it just kind of in a different light. I kind of like that a lot, and I guess I kind of related to that in a way, I suppose. So it's like, I feel like for me, I got what he was about, actually. And I also praise the fact that he's not just a big idiot who wants to just be in the middle of a tornado just for the views and stuff. Because has anyone here ever seen the movie Into the Storm?
Yes.
For the record, that is actually my favorite tornado movie. But do you remember the two like dudes who just they were first doing dumb stunts in their backyard? They figured out twisters were coming, so they take their truck, paint Twista hunters on the back, and just go out, just try to film them being in a tornado just for the hell of it for views. I'm glad that that's not him, because I like the fact that, you know what, he does that, but he still knows what he's talking about. Like, no, I studied this. I know what I'm talking about, stuff like that. And again, I got a good meaning behind why, you know, we profit off the t-shirt and stuff like that. So I also really respect that as well about him. Oh, his whole team, actually. And going off of what Luke said earlier as well about, you know, the scientists are not kind of in it for the money. Well, that is actually, when I think about it, that actually is true. But Javi was, I would say, the exception to that, because yes, he's working with someone who, sorry, I almost thought I had a burp. He's working with someone who really wants to profit off of the misery that people are going through when they lose their everything in a tornado. But like, I feel like the rest of the scientists are definitely
his right-hand man, Scott, 100% in it for the money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You see that later when he's like, dude, screw helping people. Let's get this data. But Javi's like, look, I understand, like, I'm working with this dude and I kind of figure what he's doing. But at the end of the day, like, we still need funding because I want to change the world, considering what Kate and Javi have been through, actually, which we haven't even gotten to at the beginning of this movie, actually. So he's not just for the profit. He's like, no, I genuinely want to make a difference here. It just so happens this is the avenue I have to take to make that difference happen, actually. And that's actually the biggest reason why I like this movie as much as I do. It actually is the character and the motivations, high key.
And I'll be honest, there's a little nod that I want to mention it because you mentioned like the characters and their motivations. One character we haven't mentioned really much at all so far has been Ben, which is the reporter that is following Tyler's group right now. And I love, firstly, that poor guy is put through the fucking ringer with this group, which is hilarious. But secondly, I love at the point, like, right before the last tornado and everything, like, he went to go take a photo of people and like them helping, but then stopped, and instead, I'm here I'm with this group. Like, this isn't just I'm here doing a story anymore. I need to also do my part. And I really like that little tiny nugget we get of Ben putting his camera away and putting his reporting aside to help people. Really tiny, but I thought it was a very nice little thing for that character, who's been kind of disheveled and feeling like he's about to die constantly.
He's in it for the story, finding fascination in why people do this, but then actually like finds other reasons why we do. It's like, hey, no, we're here to help people as well. And I actually really feel like this movie made me walk away thinking, yeah, I get that. I like, if I wait, what am I trying to say here? I feel like I walk away from this movie having a new appreciation for anyone who helps out with tornado relief, actually, too, after watching this movie and seeing two sides of it. The people who are more on the sciencey side of understanding what we deal with and hopefully, trying to prevent or foresee these things coming so people can be safe. And then people who might have that thrill in them to kind of be there with the wrath of Mother Nature, but still have the drive to do good by people by helping them when they've lost everything, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I actually like the fact that I walk away feeling like, yeah, I feel like that feeling, actually. That everybody except for Scott and that one rich dude are not really horrible people.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't even really go anywhere anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It just happens it's just kind of there.
Technically, I just want to say, the way it technically ends, there's always room for another. I'm not saying there should be, but
there most likely will be, for sure.
With the popularity this has pulled, I'll be surprised if there's not a Twisters 2.
Yeah, for sure.
They should call it Twisted Sister.
No, just call it Twisted, actually. No, that's lame. We had
Actually,
Twister.
I had that thought too.
We had Twisters.
I don't know, just do whatever Sharknado did.
Oh God, no!
Oh
no!
Like that.
That's fine.
No.
Twisters 2, the twisted
Double twisted.
But yeah, we're
Twisters, two strand knot.
Two twisted.
if they're gonna call it Twisted, it needs to get like sponsored by Twisted Tea, and you need to see like a can flying in the air or something.
Right. I want somebody at some point during that movie to be playing Twisted Metal.
Twisters 2, Tokyo Twister.
I do want to say.
Wait, that's not Sharknado. I'm sorry.
There's a nice amount of Easter eggs and references to the first Twister that I really appreciate. It even comes down to like just really subtle costume design that they have their nods to. I
noticed that.
We see Kate's character is wearing a baseball shirt at one point, and we see a young boy wearing that same baseball shirt in the Twister film. Her main outfit, where we see her wearing khakis, the white tank top and like a khaki like overshirt, that's the iconic look for the female lead. I'm blanking on her name off the top of my head.
Kate.
No, the female lead in the first one. We also get I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but this actor did this one for Dad. The gentleman near kind of like right before like the whole like hiding in the pool and like that like work area of the pool. That guy who's like yelling at and berating the poor motel worker. He actually is the son of so he's James Paxton, the son of late Twister star Bill Paxton. And so like he did a little cameo in the film, and he like stated like, I did this one for Dad. So nice. That one's really cute. The sunflowers we get at Kate's childhood home is a direct homage to the sunflower field at the end of the first Twister movie. In fact, the production designer Patrick Sullivan started working in film by actually helping plant the sunflowers for the original movie. And there's plenty more. We have Hobby's whole thing about, being, the whole thing like if I can get pants on, because there was always the he's butt naked joke that happened in the first one. We see Dorothy. We continue on the homage with Dorothy and Twister with the whole use of the Tin Man, Lion, and Scarecrow for the teams. And,
that's not the first one though. They didn't have that shit.
Yeah, but they continued on the homage like with that. Yeah. Also, like when we get the big final tornado moment in Twister, it involves like a whole group of civilians trying to survive outside a movie theater. In Twister, there is a memorable scene where it destroys the drive-in where people are watching The Shining. So it's kind of, they did that whole thing as another homage to Twister. I was waiting the entire fucking movie to see the flying cow. It is very brief, but we do get a flying cow in the final tornado.
We did?
They don't make a big deal out of it.
Nope, it is super quick and small.
I did not see no cows.
I was also half expecting The Shining to be playing when they were at the theater.
Me
I'm not mad that it was Frankenstein, but I am upset that it wasn't The Shining.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Speaking of like animals, I suppose like that. I was more concerned about the horses at the rodeo than I was anybody at the people.
I thought we were gonna get the cow flying then. At the rodeo. No, I didn't. Not gonna lie.
But I don't want to see it. Save the cow. We need hamburgers.
That chicken's joke. The chicken's joke is hilarious.
The chicken is a good spot.
That was the funniest thing of that movie.
That one had me clucking in my seat.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching.
Don't laugh.
Popcorn and take us out.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I need to. Chickens. We definitely need to give the cast credit. I mean, at least the main 3 actors, because they do very, very well with what they have. 100%. I mean, it's not
Anthony Ramos.
It's not a whole lot to go on, but I think they do a lot with it, and it was cool to see. They're very entertaining. The rest of the teams, though, I didn't need them. Like, they're just there. They're just there. They don't do anything. I don't really learn anything about them. Tyler's crew gets a little more shine than Javi's crew, but even they still don't really get much to do or contribute anything at all, really. The first one is very much about studying tornadoes.
Yes.
Like, it really is. That's Absolutely. Why even at the ending, they're in the tornado and shit. It's more about the experience. But at the end of the day, everybody's collecting data to try and fucking deal with the tornadoes. In this one, it's just about straight stopping them. But even that gets kind of lost in the sauce a little bit because Javi has his thing with the data, which actually sounds like a good idea. You find out it's kind of for nefarious things, but it's still a really good fucking idea. And they pull that shit off one time in the movie.
It's not necessarily for nefarious things, as it's sadly backed by a nefarious piece of shit who's exploiting them, who's exploiting Javi specifically.
Right. But it's still really cool, right?
Yeah.
And it's
that,
like
honestly, that 3D imaging we get of that tornado looks sick.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's teams, like everybody's there for a legitimate reason. If it's not for the fucking realtor Baron, whatever the fuck he is, like there really isn't a bad guy in this movie. But there's also like really not necessarily a goal. Like they kind of want to stop the tornadoes, kind of, and it just kind of works, sort of. I know it does work, but you know that's not the main plan. We start out wanting to do this, and then we pivot, and now we want to do this, right?
Well, I like to think of it not necessarily as maybe stopping the tornado 100% or collecting data. I think I like to think of it more of Kate finding her way back home to doing what she does, what she's passionate about, and why she wanted to change the world. And we get that eventually. Like it started off with a tragedy, then it was rough with the first attempt, and then like as time goes on, and she keeps working with Javi and getting to know Tyler, like she's slowly like kind of like accepting the fact that like okay, what happened in the past, and I carry that guilt about spoiler. I mean, this movie's been out for a minute now. That I lost my friends and my boyfriend, my black boyfriend. Why the fuck would you out in a tornado, you black man? You were smarter than that. I'm sorry. I was gonna say. But you know that I've carried that guilt with me for so long, but now I was like, I'm back. I'm kind of moving from it and kind of resuming the mission and going back to what and remembering why I did this in the first place too. Because her mom's speech about how fascinated she was with weather was, I feel, also really a good speech to remember. Like, this is why I do. Like, I've been about this since I was a kid, and I can't, like freaking Tyler says, you can't keep letting what happened tear you down, destroy you. Like, you gotta like fight back. You got to move on and stuff like that. So I like to think that's kind of the main goal here. And I really like that she finds her way back to storm chasing and also joins Tyler's team along with Javi.
Look, I'm glad that I am very happy that you like this because you like it way more than I do. I'm just going to say that right now. But I do like the smartest thing these writers did was right in the fact that this is a once in a generation thing that's happening, because now they've made it very possible that these things can just pop up whenever the fuck they want, and they do. The whole ending is spurred on by like they have been using all of their instruments, all their techniques, whatever the fuck Kate and Tyler can do, where they just like kind of smell the air. Like they've been using straight science or whatever the fuck they do to navigate these storms. They know when they're coming, like at a time, and where they're gonna drop. They know exactly where it's gonna fucking be and where it's gonna go. Until the end, when one just magically spurs up on them. It's like, good thing they fucking wrote in that this shit is once in a generation. Otherwise, that is some contrived bullshit.
Sure.
Well, in all honesty, weather is super unpredictable. Like, do we always know when something like
look at Michigan, for example. Look at where we live.
We live in a bipolar state.
Listen, I don't disagree. I'm just saying they were following this. I guess I'll call it rules, but like they put in once in a generation stuff. We've got more tornadoes than we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got everybody is able to say, hey, it's over here. It's going to be this big. Or, hey, it's over here. It's going to be that big. Or fucking Kate just goes like, oh, there's one that's going to go over there. It's going to die. But we're going to follow this one because this is the one that's actually going to be a thing, right? Like they've got it mapped out. And then until they decide they don't, is all I'm saying.
Well, keep in mind what I believe either Javi or Tyler once said, that, you know, when it comes to knowing about tornadoes, that there is going to be a lot of science-based and knowledge that we have, but there's also the unknown part about it. So, like in my opinion, like I don't think us as humanity in general will ever just truly know everything about how weather could always work. Honestly, like some things are still left to interpretation.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, considering that this is, you know, a throwback to dumb '90s movies, that's dumb.
It's entertainment.
Well, I suppose. Yeah, I guess
I will say though, if there ever becomes a third one, I think it'll be more of Javi versus like.
No, everybody's gonna be a team in the next one. There's no more.
No. I think it'll be like Javi and them like having to deal with Scott and Marshall Riggs, and I do think though, if we get another. That one is where all the science is going to come in. Because that's what the story, I think the storyline is going to fit more towards that.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that. Again, I don't know enough about it to check anything, but like it sounded cool. It looked cool. Their whole idea of what they wanted to do to stop the tornado was fucking cool. You know, I loved the barrels and drilling the holes, and so that way the fucking truck doesn't go anywhere. That was cool. Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of really cool ideas in here, but then I think it gets too lost in the sauce because it also wants to be a fucking love story. You know, it's just not. It's not necessary.
Like I don't mind if there's nods towards potential romance. Like I don't need it in the forefront, like as in my face as it was.
Well, I think it's a nice touch. One.
Sure,
it makes more sense in the first one.
You know, funny enough, I don't get like love story completely in my face. I was just more of hoping don't do it. But when I'm watching, like, I still see this as nope, we're just working together. So I find that interesting.
I mean, they put that shit in there because it's a fucking Steven Spielberg produced film, and there's got to be, you know, it's just standard shit. It's just what we do. It has to be in there, and mostly it has to be in there because it's in the first one.
Oh well.
One other thing I do want to mention, because you were talking about like the realism and like the science and everything, I do really like. Obviously, it's been known that Oklahoma is Tornado Alley, and it was really, really interesting. I really loved the quick little moment when you see her going into her New York office of the woman like showing like the red oddly shaped things to the kids and explaining it to them and what those are, because like my previous job was really news oriented, so I had to keep track of weather, and I actually have, it's called tornadohq.com. I use that a lot to track weather, but it'll also track tornadoes, and it is always wild seeing like what pops up and watching that area of like that whole span of Oklahoma and like the middle US, because it is wild how many tornadoes pop up over there a week.
Yeah,
this is cool.
It's rare here.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking at it now.
But
get them.
We've gotten them more recently than we have in the last 5 years to the rest of my life.
Facts.
It's fun. Again, I used to be terrified of the tornado happening back when I was in like middle school.
Okay, so I would, because you guys were making a point about how, and I think it was you specifically, Anthony, where you were like, you like how you got both sides of the coin, how you got the people that show up to profit off of this tragedy and how people show up to actually try and help out. I would have liked it if they would have put a little bit more emphasis, especially with this once in a generation thing that was happening, to put a little bit more emphasis on, say, like climate change being why it was going on.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, that's actually funny because Morgan, you're on Wikipedia still, hopefully. Writer Margaret Renke, whatever, criticized the movie for not mentioning the link between climate change and the increasing frequency of the intensity of tornadoes. So that's actually a criticism that somebody actually brought up already too.
I have a theory as to why they didn't. The main demographic for this film are people who do not believe in climate change, and you mentioned that, they're immediately going to lose sales.
I mean, it doesn't need to be a focal point, but I definitely would have wanted some kind of line about, like, you know.
100% agree with you guys, but I think from a political stance, they kept and omitted that because they knew their main demographic who's going to.
I'm not going to give this movie that much credit. I'm not going to give this movie that much credit. I'm not going to give these writers that much credit. I'm just going to say that it just didn't do it because they just didn't think of it. Like, I want that to be the case, because that actually makes this movie more entertaining for me than somebody walking to an office and going like, "Hey, great script. Take that climate change shit out of there." I just want to believe that it was just never in there.
It may not even been someone being like, "Hey, remove this from your script." The writers themselves going to be like, "I think we leave this out, guys."
I think maybe a nod would have been nice, because scientific accuracy. But again, I can sometimes see like, let's not step on toes and just make a movie that's entertaining. Let's just not go there.
Yeah. No, and that's literally it. Especially when they talk about a once in a generation thing that's happening here. It's like that. Well, why is this happening? Just cause? Just cause? Right? They tell me it's a once in a generation thing, but don't give me any evidence or scientific or like weather reasons why. We just accept that the tornadoes are happening, and then all the science comes based off the tornadoes, right? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily why this is happening. And I was like, I just feel like it's something that was missing.
Perhaps so, but I'm also just kind of a believer in, like, you know what? Whatever nature does, it does. Like, I've kind of just grown to accept that, you know what? Shit will happen in this world, and we don't always just know why. We don't fully know the always explanation of why. So Earth either hates us, Mother Nature hates us, Black Jesus don't like us, something.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to bring up that I actually have Into the Storm in the background right now.
I forgot. I have seen that movie. I keep forgetting about it because that was one that was filmed. Tornado.
That was one that was filmed here in Lake Orion.
That's right. That's
wow.
And that's the one with the fire tornado, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Right. Which this movie fucking copied.
No, okay, it happened, but it wasn't the same.
Dude? That they don't even. Well, maybe they do think of it, but like, come on. Into the Storm did it first. Just admit it.
Because it did.
I really thought about that, and I couldn't remember the movie name. Thank you so much for getting me back on track with the movie name. But I was like, I've seen this before. What the fuck is that movie called?
Into the Storm. Hey, again, I like to bring up, like, you know what? The fire tornado happened, but it wasn't like the same scene, though. At least it was like, nope, it's happening, but then okay, we're done with that.
Well,
so I'll give it credit.
Into the Storm, I think is not as scientifically accurate, but
no, it is not. No, it is not.
Into the Storm is very much on spectacle and survival, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
They just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna launch a guy into a tornado." It's gonna be sweet, and it was. That I need to watch again. I watched that movie before I became a stoner. I need to watch it again. I probably have a fucking blast with it now.
I actually own that on YouTube.
Send me like,
you'd have to get my actual account for that.
I really don't have much else to say.
I just the fact that, like, because it's fucking Glen Powell, and I've seen enough Glen Powell movies to say that, like, there's definitely some talent in there, but he just plays pretty much the same dude in every fucking movie. This is no exception, but like, he does it very well in here. It's
probably one of my more preferred films for him.
Facts. I'm not too familiar with the rest of the cast except for my man from Hamilton, but that's just because he's in the fucking movie that you're wearing the shirt for.
I would also like to say too that Glen Powell actually voiced the character in Camp Cretaceous Morgan. Actually,
I know it was Dave. I think it was.
Yep, it was Dave.
Yeah,
and also going off what you said, Luke. I love Anthony Ramos. I really do. That dude is so cool.
Anthony is really talented. Like, from Hamilton, because he had a major role in Hamilton, to In
the Heights.
Yeah, In the Heights.
Which
he was in Transformers.
Dude, I actually dig that Transformers movie. Actually,
I do too.
That
Yeah,
one.
and also
Not
I would
bad.
like to bring up that more. You guys know I hate musicals, but I actually like In the Heights. I really do. I have a bit of a soft spot because my school's theater put it on, so I was like, okay, I kind of knew. And it's a musical with Latinos and Black people, so it kind of spoke to me a bit better. Also, I appreciate the fact that they showed the absolute trauma and devastation that happens after a tornado. I saw the first Twister, Night of the Twisters, freaking Day After Tomorrow, and a lot of other movies that had tornadoes. But as a person whose community actually had a tornado, you don't know or feel the real absolute destruction until it actually happens. Yeah, again, that's also another thing. That's why I like these characters really wanting to make a difference with it. Like, look, this movie, we had the spectacle. Like, I'm not gonna like praise tornadoes for what they do or anything like that, but they are a interesting weather phenomenon that is terrifying, but I mean, I hope I don't offend nobody, but also kind of in a way beautiful because I just kind of find weather fascinating a little bit too.
No, I agree with
sunny
that.
weather.
Like there is it can be, even though it is destructive, it can still be beautiful. It is a natural phenomenon that isn't something that we see every day, so it is exotic. It is, intriguing. That's why like my biggest thing is I love thunder and lightning storms. You will see me if there is a lightning storm going, I am perched up at my window watching.
Same.
Like, I love it. I've studied a lot of weather because I was growing up definitely that like science and history nerd for sure, and it's something so beautiful and so awe-striking can still be so destructive, and that's in a way almost makes it even more destructive and more menacing.
Funny enough, I have a different look at it on why I enjoy thunderstorms, lightning storms, and things like that. Not necessarily the science behind it, but it's actually, I guess I'm more, like I said earlier, I relate to Tyler on, I kind of am a fan of the spectacle and even the vibes of it, actually. Because for me,
100%.
a stormy vibe is just nice. Hearing the rainfall, watching it, thunder, lightning, it's like...
I write better. I write better when it's thundering and lightning out.
I visualize a lot of stuff with it, too, actually, because these things are cool visuals, I guess.
I always like to say, aspects. And maybe this is it could be interpreted on a slightly spiritual level, but I like to say that storms are very much charge the air around you and charge the atmosphere, charge just like charge everything that's exposed to it, if you will. So I think that like it kind of almost gives you like a boost of energy, whether it's adrenaline or who knows, just complete placebo effect, or there is actually something more scientific behind that.
Oh, wait, I do. There is one aspect of thunderstorms that I actually was kind of interested in the science of it, but it's for the wrong reasons. I only know and don't like it because it's the explanation of why King Ghidorah can cause F6 tornadoes. Literally, I will go outside, I will feel the air, I will smell the air, and decide, I think we've got a Code Ghidorah coming. Yes, I've officially named it Code Ghidorah.
It's really funny, too, because I also have an additional fascination for weather. And this is something I almost like tied to, where her mother was like, oh, she would be like, oh, this is coming. I can feel it or whatever. Like it was like she was psychic or she knew. And it's funny because I had that issue, but with my headaches.
Oof.
I've literally made jokes to people. Like I've missed my calling as being a psychic meteorologist, because if there's a massive storm coming, I usually get really bad headaches until the storm has passed. So because I get like when the M-bar, the pressure in the air goes too high, I start getting, like if it goes over 1100, I start getting headaches.
Okay. What was I doing before? Oh yeah, I was praising Anthony Ramos.
Sorry, this is a random weather tangent we just went on.
Yeah, and I like weather. I hate the sun though. I really do.
I was just letting you guys go. Do you think?
I don't mind the sun. I'm currently sunburned, if you can't tell. From my day at the beach.
Oh yeah, you went to the freaking beach. I was like, what the hell? But, going back off of what was Tyler was actually saying earlier too, was the fact that that's also why I also like this film too, is you get the spectacle, you get people who kind of are thrill seekers and people who want, science and everything. But again, you do acknowledge these things are dangerous, these things are deadly, and they do their job they do their, I don't want to say job, what's the word for this? They do the good deed of, we are going to help people who are affected by this, because it's the right thing to do. Well, as you probably all know,
Tyler, Yeah, so Tyler also says, well, as you probably know, in my hometown, we had our tornado. It lasted 30 seconds tops, and it destroyed half a strip mall, knocked 3 houses off their foundations, damaged 30-odd vehicles, and destroyed an entire trailer park, causing 3 deaths. And again, it lasted 30 seconds. To add to that, I drove through his hometown, which, for anybody who's wondering, this is Gaylord, Michigan, probably a month afterwards, and there were additional stores and like businesses that were just standalone that happened to be in the path that were closed, weren't able to do anything, and it was still like a month later. So yeah, tornadoes are devastating, and I do understand, Tyler, where you're coming from on how the appreciation of showing that, hey, there is disaster here, and it does impact people's lives. It impacts these communities, and it's nice to see that Tyler's crew. It's a nice nod, I think, to like the inward actual persona that we get of Tyler's crew, because outwardly they're first shown as like these kind of like high energy, just crazy mofos, right? But it actually shows their whole group has a lot of heart, and they really care about the communities, and they're not like they are testing science and doing stuff for the fun of it, but they're also there to help. And I do really appreciate that like inner look that we get of his crew.
I also really like that too. So I also like Tyler a lot. You know, pretty much what you just said. Surface level, meathead wants fun, he wants views, but internally, like, no, there's more to you than meets the eye. What I've done.
I mean, it would have fit. It would have fit.
Oh goodness!
Couldn't help it.
Gents, do we have anything else you want to talk about before we get into scoring this film?
I mean, I could keep talking about how much I like Anthony Ramos, because he is actually my favorite character in this movie.
Really?
Actually, yes. Tyler, I might relate to and understand a lot, but I don't know. Something about Javi's is like, I genuinely want to make a difference, even if I have to do business with somebody I don't exactly agree with. And not to mention, come on, man, he's from Brooklyn, he's Puerto Rican, so he's honorary black, man.
So given the fact that the first one is very much about a character coming back into the fold and rejoining the old team and everybody knows each other, Javi should have been more involved with what was going on, considering, you know, he's the one that got Kate to come back, and like we were following that formula up until we don't, and then just like this whole new person, this new team just kind of take over. So Javi definitely gets thrown to the side. Sorry, bro, you get curbed real quick. So yeah, I agree with you. I would have enjoyed the movie too if it was just them two. I don't hate that the Tyler character is in it, but this definitely has a movie with stuff in it that like I personally don't think needs to be there.
Sure. So who is your favorite character then? If his is Anthony,
it probably is Tyler, honestly. But like as far as just the whole way the movie's going and stuff, it's just he's the MacGuffin. He's got all the answers that these scientists don't have. You know what I mean? It's kind of like watching Armageddon, where you've got all these fucking NASA people trying to blow up a meteor, but they need fucking oil riggers to do it. Right? Like, you got all these science people with all this money and these super advanced things to collect data on tornadoes, but you need the redneck in the fucking pickup to come in with his little drill holes to be able to do the thing, because we couldn't figure that out ourselves.
I think also it's just he has the balls where other people don't.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. That too, but I mean, like you would think that given the fact that you're already storm chasers and you're putting yourselves in dangers the way that they are, like they have the balls as well. But it's just like, no, we got that. We got that redneck that just extra has the balls, right? He's got his souped up pickup and fuck you and that type of thing. That's the vibe that he gives me. And like, I mean, I dig it because he does it really well. He's the most entertaining. He's got the best lines. But as far as like the logic of the movie goes, I'm like,
I think I remember thinking this to myself. Also when I was watching, like, I actually kind of was. I mean, it ends up just being Javi. I was like, I really do hope this ends up. There you go. I hope this ends up being like, you know, the scientists and the wild ones end up coming together just for the bigger cause, I suppose. Although it ends up being like, nope, just Javi has the actual sense to it.
Right. Which, I mean, once we get to that point, makes sense. He's not a bad dude. He just is doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
What up, motherfucker?
Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Way to show plate, Rob.
Exactly.
So,
Rob.
do we want to rate this thing?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
let's rate
literally
it.
the last that I got. So yeah, that was my last guess there.
Alrighty. Who wants to go first?
I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay.
It's a 6.5 because of the entertainment factor of the actors, the tornadoes, and the science stuff. The actual story itself, not a big fan, not the biggest fan of. The love shit, I don't. It's I don't need it. The motivations sometimes are a little off. There's a bad guy, kind of. There's for every good thing that I get in this movie, I get something that makes me go, "Are you fucking serious?" So 6.5.
Yeah.
My rating from last night, I told you, I almost called it Draven. Jesus, I miss my wife. Hasn't changed. I'm still giving this an 8.5, actually, 8.5. I really enjoyed this movie. It's easy to like, easy to watch. The characters aren't deep, but they have enough working for them that you feel something at least. I like certain motivations, and like I like the, I guess, situational awareness of what tornadoes really bring, I suppose, actually. So yeah, it's an easy to enjoy, easy to watch movie, and I like those movies a lot. You don't even have to think that hard. But I at least like a lot that I can appreciate a lot in this movie harder than I thought I would in like Into the Storm, because Into the Storm is like a solid 8 for being that enjoyable. This one gets above just because some of the character work is a little extra, and I appreciate that.
So I'm right there with you, Dreaded. I am also an 8.5 for this film.
Half?
8.5.
8.5?
That's what Dreaded just gave it too.
I know.
What? Do you think that's high or low?
Oh my god, I think you both are insane.
Insane. So, kind of going off of what you were saying, Dreaded, like this is a really easy to enjoy movie.
Nice.
I normally wouldn't try to rate a film off of the nostalgia factor. However, this brought a really big nostalgia factor for me. I'm part of the Twister cult. I love Twister. This reignited a love for storm chasing that I knew I've had and have always carried since that film. But, for me, it just reminded me why I do love storm chasing and why storm chasers are people that I really, really respect. I think this film looks great with the storms. The visual effects are awesome. The sound design is awesome. There is room to be improved with the writing, not gonna lie, even with the character development, but what I do get from the characters and the actors, I'm still not like upset with. I think there was decent room to grow for specific individual characters. We see it a little bit at the end with Javi. We see some with Tyler. We especially see some with Kate. I do like that we get some science, though I wish we had more science behind all of it. But in all, like, I really, really like and appreciate this film because it's just something that I can sit down and have a good time with.
Ballin'.
Also, Owen says hello while he makes my arms go to sleep.
Hello, Owen, you little selfish kitty. We don't go to sleep. Sleep for the broke.
Anything
we don't
else?
stop getting paper around here.
Any other thoughts, announcements, anything before I wrap up tonight's episode for us?
If you do not follow the Crawl Space movie on Instagram, you should do that ASAP.
Do it. You see
what
some
is
good
the
behind
Crawl
the scenes
Space movie?
footage.
Huh?
What is it? Tell the people out there what it is.
Oh, that is the movie that I'm working on, written, produced, and starring me. Take that for however you want, that last part. It's being directed by Brian Kilby. He's very talented, knows what he's doing. I'm not going to give out his credentials because I don't think he would want me to do that.
Oh, I'll do it.
But you should absolutely follow us on Instagram. We're finally in the stage of giving updates. We are well into filmmaking. I would say we are a little under halfway done. Some things happened, like this right here, that it's a couple hiccups, but we're still filming. This is going to get done, and hopefully we'll have something ready around Halloween, maybe.
Ooh.
But if not, it'll be coming out probably early next year. But yeah, no, get involved. Check us out. follow us, like all the stuff. Let me know how you think we're doing, and get ready because I'm super proud of this project. Super proud of everybody working on it. Anthony has been gracious enough to come out and help us out. Morgan, we're still waiting to get you out there, but it will happen.
Can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's going great. I'm super excited and proud of what we've done so far, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. But if you want to know or get involved, The Crawl Space Movie on Instagram, and you can see some behind the scenes stuff because I try to post once a week now. So check it out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I guess for my announcement too. I mean, nothing filming or nothing like that, but me and Luke may have something conceptualized for the future. That would be really,
we got
really
a
cool.
great idea.
Yeah, we really do. Look at that sexy man in the background. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, we're still live.
Can I interrupt your show for like 30 seconds?
Sure.
Certainly.
He wants to interrupt our show for 30 seconds. What's up? Oh my god, show them! Where did you find this cute thing?
Hey.
It's so cute.
That's not all.
That's not all.
Looks overrated.
Oh.
Okay, that one's cool.
Hey yo.
That one's cool. Does his mouth open?
I don't think so.
That one's fucking cool.
Here,
Where did
can
he
you
get
put-
that
can you
one?
Can you put those down? He's making my arms go to sleep. Can you take our cat?
Go to
I
sleep,
love you, our son.
little arms.
Oh, the mouth does not open.
Damn, but that's still sweet. Where do you get it? Where do you get it? Where do you get
Where'd
it?
you get it? Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
So I saw a advertisement on my Facebook after you left.
Okay.
And so I had to run to Hot Topic.
These are from
Oh.
Hot Topic?
Yeah.
Ew.
They're Funkos.
Hot Topics come a long way.
Yes, it
Dude,
is.
that's sick though. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but look at inside the head.
Yeah, you can see the eyes.
like the eyes.
It's supposed to be a human skull.
Okay, well this is gonna be out for when we do our Alien Romulus review.
I would
Oh,
hope
yeah.
so.
See, worth interruption.
Thank you for the interruption. You're great.
Yeah, that was worth it. That was so worth it.
And that's Daniel, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my
Yeah.
husband.
Oh yeah, bro, like what I was saying. Me and Luke have an awesome idea that we definitely want to start working on. Should we actually say what it is?
That's on you.
We would like to make a Hunt Showdown short film or fan film, should I say? No,
That
fan
would be
film. Because
fun.
what I'm thinking isn't going to be just a short. Like, I actually got some ideas. And it would be awesome. It would be so cool.
I mean, it's one of those things where just like the concept alone for the game, for anybody that's played it, like it just sounds very cinematic. There's a lot of characters in there. There's a lot of lore. I think if just gonna take somebody, us apparently, to just sit down and try something, because it just on. I mean, we've already talked about different ways we could do it. I'm not gonna spoil anything here. Give anybody any other ideas. But yeah, there's definitely a way to get this done, and there's a way to get it done for filmmakers like us with no money, to be able to pull something off. So yeah, I'm excited to work on that too. And if we don't get started on that soon, we'll be getting we're gonna get started on it soon. But in the chance that we don't, as soon as the crawl space is done, we're getting started on it.
Hell yeah.
Some announcements on my end. I do have a couple scripts that are underway and that are being worked on for films. So, gentlemen, those are two things I want to speak with you after the show. I do have we have the movie Borderlands coming out, and we will
that this week?
That is this week, yes.
Sweet.
We will have
Right on
when we review it, we will have special guests joining us. For anybody who follows me on Twitch at The True Tash, the wonderful French Kitty and Shirtless Dan would like to join us for that review because they both are big Borderlands fans. They've been streaming the Borderland video games together. So yeah, they're going to be seeing the movie and joining us for that review when it ends up happening. So make sure you stay tuned to our socials for the official announcement of what day that review will be happening. But yeah,
It's gonna be chaotic as
exciting.
fuck.
So chaotic.
Morgan can barely handle us.
It's fine. It's
gonna be a
those
great
are some of
review.
them. That's going to be some of the those are some of the more fun episodes. Not that we don't have a fun time every time, but the more chaotic, the more funny for me at least. But
Funny enough, there's one episode I'm really glad we never ended up doing because that would not have been fun. And I still blame you, Luke, for making us watch that shit. And you didn't even fucking. You weren't gonna show up for the review, and we couldn't even do it because something was going wrong.
Which one?
fucking No One Will Save You.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that movie. You don't like it?
No, that was at the bottom of my list, remember?
Come on, bro. Foot Knuckles? Dude, Foot Knuckles. We need to end this show. All right, we need to end this. But fucking, you guys know Jeff. Jeff is a super space dude, stoner, loves the stars, loves aliens. This was all his idea. He was like, you have to watch this. It's insane. And you know what? Up until we get to that scene where the alien just goes into Foot Knuckles, like I was having a good time. But as soon as I see Foot Knuckles, I literally laughed out loud. I started dying. I was like, this is going to be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And sure enough, it was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's why I love that movie. It is not a horror film. It is not anything to be taken seriously. But those aliens are the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, they're high up there anyway. We got Foot Knuckles. We got Mantis Thing. Like, oh my God, they were so cool. In the wrong ways.
That's one of the funniest aliens actually come from Scary Movie 3.
Paul.
Oh my God, I forgot about that movie.
I love Paul so much. Genuinely love Paul. Amazing.
All right,
movie.
well, we'll try and fit that in on the schedule. But yeah, that was our review of Twisters.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we should start getting sidetracked.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, I want to eat dinner.
All right. Thank you for everybody for joining us. We love you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting us. Additional ways you can support us is heading over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by looking up Podcast Wanna or the Wanna-Bes podcast. We'll show up either way. And just giving us a follow. When you follow, you're going to find out when we're going live, what we're reviewing, if there's any changes into our stream schedule, and other fun announcements that occasionally happen. And
while you're at it, follow the Crawl Space Movie on Instagram.
Make sure you go follow the Crawl Space Movie. Like they're doing fantastic work over there, and it's exciting to see one of our own here on the show being a wannabe filmmaker. It's wonderful and fantastic.
I am stepping out of the shadow of wannabe. I am trying to become legit over here.
But for now, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We love you so much. We will catch you next time. And don't forget the popcorn, all right?
And don't go to sleep either.
Bye.
Sleeps for the week.
We don't go to sleep for the bro. We don't stop getting paper around here.